What's going on, everyone? So last season, the Sacramento Kings had a lot of optimism, right? They were coming off of an excellent season, just had a grueling series against the Golden State Warriors in the first round that really could have went either way. They were a young team on the rise that were looking very promising, potentially a move or so away from potential title contention, right? Then last year, disappointment, right? They were fully in playoff status and contention. They clearly took a step back, but they were a team that should have made the playoffs had Malik Monk not gotten hurt. Malik gets hurt, everything's kind of on De'Aaron Fox, and the Kings just become abysmal, terrible. So they go and they make a big splash, end up picking up DeMar DeRozan. And DeMar DeRozan gives them a proven vet, guy that is an absolute bucket getter, one of the best isolation guys in the league, absolute mid-range assassin, three-point shooting, definitely a big question, right? But how much better does DeMar DeRozan really make the Sacramento Kings, if at all, and could it potentially make Sacramento worse? Now, some people might think, no way, DeMar DeRozan got another 20-point scorer. Look what happened when Malik Monk got hurt. It was just De'Aaron Fox. They didn't have anyone else that could generate offense and go score the basketball. And yes, you're right. If Malik Monk got hurt again, DeMar DeRozan would be massive at that point. DeMar DeRozan would be a huge fixture for the Sacramento Kings. But what if they don't? Right? You're going on the assumption that an injury, not just hey, I'm going to miss a week, but a season-ending injury, which, knock on wood, you never want to see with anybody, but you can't really make moves under that assumption. So, assuming that there isn't that level of injury, do they really need another heavy isolation scorer when they have De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk? Yes, DeMar DeRozan can make a play. Yes, De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk both can make a play, right? Monk, right? We've seen his ability to control and run the offense when, Fox is even on the bench. Same thing. Fox, we know, can run an offense, do all that stuff. But you have two guys that are best with the ball in their hands in isolation, right? Being able to go and score. And in the fourth quarter, it's the De'Aaron Fox show. I mean, he's been one of the league leaders in the fourth in points, efficiency, all of that, usage. And Malik Monk's been a guy that's been willing to kind of take that step back, let Monk go and do his thing, and then, go let Fox do his thing, and then Monk kind of fills in where need be. They didn't really need another isolation scorer. They needed defense, perimeter guys, 3-and-D guys. Yes, it would have been nice to get a guy that could put the ball on the deck, but you needed somebody that could go and just, get a bucket, but could knock down the open shot, play off ball, be efficient, be effective in that regard, right? I don't think that they needed another guy that's best with the ball in his hands scoring the basketball. Also, there are several points that show this could actually make Sacramento worse. Defensively, they've had their issues. Offensively, right, if you don't look at the stretch in which Malik Monk missed, because, again, that's not the full-fledged, if any team is missing their second-best guy, right, or their second-best scorer, right, they're going to drop significantly offensively. But if you look at it with Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox, they've been one of the best offensive teams in the league the last few years. Offense hasn't been their problem. It's stopping the other team that has been their problem. Malik Monk is a liability defensively. Sabonis isn't a great defensive guy, right? Keegan Murray hasn't been great defensively. Harrison Barnes was hot and cold at times. They needed upgrades on the defensive side of things. De'Aaron Fox, he can be great defensively, but they needed somebody that can defend out on the perimeter and, help in that regard, in that area. They're also one of the fastest paced teams in the league. They get up and down the court. It's not really DeMar DeRozan's game. Go look at the pace and where DeMar DeRozan's teams rank. Now, if you're operating in the half court, then yeah, DeMar DeRozan's great. But that hasn't been Sacramento's game. They haven't been this, super, like they are best when they are creating turnovers, getting out in transition, pushing the pace, beating their opponent up the court, because they got guys like De'Aaron Fox, who's one of the fastest guys in the league with the ball in his hands, like all of that. Right? Like, yes, there's times, where they dump it down to Sabonis and he's just kind of going to work around the post. But they are best when they can get ahead of steam and just get up and down the court. Now you're going from that to a more isolation, half-court heavy offense. Okay? Who's stopping anybody? Are you just not going to play Malik Monk in the fourth quarter? Are you not going to play DeMar DeRozan in the fourth quarter? Right? How does that work? How do you make that make sense? I mean, seriously, how do you have De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk, and DeMar DeRozan on the court at the same time to close a game in the fourth quarter? And a lot of people say, Keon Ellis, right? Ellis was great defensively. He's our defensive guy. He's the point of attack guy alongside De'Aaron Fox. Okay, so now you're going to have what? You're going to have a 6'3" Keon Ellis, a 6'3" De'Aaron Fox, right? You're going to have a 6'3" Malik Monk, and then you're going to have a DeMar DeRozan? DeMar's 6'6", but now what? So you're going to play DeMar DeRozan at the 4? You're going to play a 6'3" guy at the 3? And then another 6'3" guy at the 2? Like, you're tiny. You have no defense. Well, then we can't play Ellis. Okay, so you're going to go De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk, DeMar DeRozan. Who are you stopping defensively? I mean, seriously, who are you stopping defensively? Again, Sabonis isn't this, all-world defensive guy. Sabonis isn't this lockdown defender. Where's your defense coming from? So now, yes, you're going to be excellent offensively. Maybe. If all pieces can work. If all pieces can be great. People are like, but, De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk, Sacramento, they move the ball well. Yes, they do until the fourth quarter. Look at their style of play. Look at the numbers. Look at their assist totals. Look at all of that first 3 quarters. Then look at it in the fourth. As soon as they get in the fourth quarter, it is, here you go, De'Aaron Fox. Go get a bucket. Make a play. Do whatever. They play a completely different game of basketball in the fourth quarter. Right? So they're either going to have to make some significant changes, but even if they do make those changes, they're not going to be able to defend anybody. And they've been one of the best offensive teams in the league the last 2 years. Last year, not this past year, but the year prior, they were the best offensive team in the league. You need to be able to stop people. Right? You still need to be able to win. Defense still wins championships. That was just proven again this season. The 2 teams in the finals were 2 of the top defensive teams in the playoffs. I don't think Sacramento... I think Sacramento felt like they needed to make a splash. I think Sacramento saw Malik Monk get hurt and thought, we need to get somebody else that can take the pressure off of De'Aaron Fox, because if Malik Monk has a bad game, or, he ends up missing time, or if Fox, ends up missing time or whatever, we're not going to be able to carry the offense. That's great if one of them is out. If Fox misses a game, you're still probably very good offensively. If Monk misses a game, probably very good offensively. If DeMar misses a game, probably very good offensively. But unless somebody's missing the entire season, I just don't know how well that's going to work. Now, again, it's very possible it does. I'm not going to completely rule it out. I'm not going to be like, man, there's no way this is going to work. It's very possible. But you can't tell me that there's not those questions and concerns that I've brought up. And there's probably more that I'm not mentioning, that I'm not thinking about right now. Right? So I look at the pace, I look at the defense, I look at the style of play, I look at the players on the roster. It's just, DeMar DeRozan was kind of the last thing they needed. Now, I know some people are going to be like, well, yeah, but you said DeMar DeRozan on the Lakers. Like, why did you think he was great on the Lakers, but not the Kings? Because the Lakers don't have anybody like DeMar DeRozan. Right? They don't have anybody that can shoot over the top like DeMar DeRozan and just be that natural scorer. Right? LeBron, he's more of like a look down at the floor and knock down a three or bully ball his way in for a layup. Anthony Davis, he was excellent in that regard, but, since the bubble, he hasn't been great. He's still money 15 in, but, basically as like that legit 3-level scorer, it's kind of gone and ran its course. But even then, they still don't have that guard that can just, like Austin Reeves isn't just this supernatural scorer like DeMar is. He's crafty, got to get in the teeth. D'Lo's, he can kind of, he can be crafty, got to get in the teeth, but they didn't have anybody like a DeMar DeRozan. So it made sense for the Lakers. DeMar DeRozan made sense for a team like Miami. It doesn't really make sense for a team that already has two guys that basically give you what DeMar DeRozan does. And DeMar DeRozan doesn't really shoot threes. So it's like, how does he fit in with the Kings offensive system? It's just a thought. But anyway, as always, this is the discussion. Pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Agree with me? Disagree with me? You're somewhere in between. Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So me enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.